Thank you for joining us for another daily devotion. We miss you. We love you. We know this one's getting out a little bit later, but I got to spend some good family time with the boys and with Jana today. And so for that, I'm very, very thankful. I just want to take you to Second Timothy chapter 3, verse 12. It says this, it says, "Indeed, all who desire to live a godly life in Christ Jesus will be persecuted." Today we were out and we went riding some bikes through our little neighborhood, and we had so much fun because we just purchased some bikes, actually a trailer that attached to a bike that pulled Hollis along. And so we're rolling through the community, rolling through the neighborhood, and then I noticed that when we're going uphill, suddenly it starts to get heavier and heavier and heavier because you got this extra weight in the back. And then after that, Stone was tired of driving his bike, and so he wanted to ride in there with Hollis too. And then we went around again, and you're just pumping and pumping and pumping, trying to get up those hills because of that additional weight. But when you look in the back and you can see those smiles, you can see those boys having the time of their life and thinking that's so fun, it changes your perspective. It changes all the struggle that you're going through. It changes it because you're doing it not only for them, but you're doing it for people you love. And because you love, you don't count the cost. And I think that so many times in our life can be so full of weight, so full of struggles and trials, and even as this passage says, persecutions. But when we know that life is suffering, when we know that life is a struggle like that, or can be a struggle like that, and all that leads us more to be conformed to the image of Christ, and it leads us for our desperation for Him, then we understand that it's because He's with us, it's worth it. It's because He's with us, it changes our perspective on it. It's because He's with us that gives us the perseverance to keep pumping and pumping and pumping and trying to get through to the next portion, to where maybe there's a little bit of downhill there. And I just want to share, when you read through the Bible, you see all different types of people who had to keep on persevering, and then the purpose of God is revealed. And you think about somebody like Joseph, who is sold by his brothers into slavery, then he's betrayed by people he's working for and thrown into prison, and then even the people he interprets the dreams for, the one guy forgets and doesn't tell Pharaoh, and then suddenly there's this dream that needs to be interpreted, and finally then he's brought up and he becomes second in command. You think about Peter's mother-in-law, and you think about her having to endure this fever, whatever she had. She was enduring that, and it wasn't until Jesus came over and healed her that we see that. You see the woman with the issue of blood, where she had been hemorrhaging for 12 years. And then suddenly Jesus meets her after 12 years of persevering. Jesus intercedes in her life in such a radical way. You see David, who's anointed as king, but then spends a significant portion of his life on the run from Saul, pursuing him in caves and canyons and things like that. And you see that, and then later he becomes king. You see blind Bartimaeus, who was born blind, and yet the Lord heals him. And it says, "Who sinned, this man or his parents?" And he says, "Neither. It's for the glory of God can be on display." Think about the lame man who was laid by the pool, and he laid there for years and years and years. And then when Christ came, He healed him. And so all of these things, people persevering, and then suddenly there's this moment where the grace and the mercy of God and the purpose of God is on display. You think about the prodigal son, and you think about the father walking through all those days or years that he was without a son, and yet he's persevering, always looking for the son to return, and then he does. I want you just to know that whatever you're going through in life, keep persevering. Keep persevering. Remember who's with you. Continue on your way through all the struggles, through all the trials, through all the temptations, through all the heaviness of life that's weighing you down and slowing down your joyride, slowing down what you could be doing. But at the same time, it's those people we're with, and most important, It's the fact that God is with us that gives us the perseverance to keep on pumping, keep going, keep taking that step forward. I'm reminded of this quote. It says, a successful person is just a novice who started and kept on going. Another person, Thomas Edison, you may know him, said this. He said, many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. And I think that you need to be encouraged in your life that you keep going, keep going. The view is worth the climb, and the juice is worth the squeeze. That was a quote that got me through seminary. The juice is worth the squeeze. Just remember, keep pumping, keep persevering in your walk, in your struggle, and remember, He's with you. He has not left you. He loves you, and we love you too. And so, thank you for taking the time for this devotion. We love you. We're thankful for you. Thank you so much.